What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, and there's a lot to talk about surrounding the New England Patriots. Mike Vrabel and staff are currently at the NFL Combine talking to a lot of defensive players. They've talked to Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, and many, many more before they do hop into more offensive players tomorrow and for the next couple of days. But on today's show, we're going to discuss a lot of trade rumors, mock drafts, and everything you guys need to know to be up to date on your favorite team. But we are now starting to get more into repetition. Every single Wednesday, we go live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. That way you guys can get your nice information on your drive home. Maybe you guys just got home, just changed into some sweatpants, turned on YouTube, and here we are. But nonetheless, no matter where you guys are watching, I am so thankful that you guys clicked into this stream to get all of your latest Patriots news and rumors. Let's go on ahead and jump into our first question as we have more and more people jumping into this live show here. I got Dom the Bomb in here. Dom, I just gave a great shout out to him on my VOD the other day for being one of our new subscribers here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I really do appreciate that, Dom. Michael's in here. Xbox Joshua, I'm praying we get Abdul Carter at number 4. Justin Hittman is in here saying, hi, Allie. Football God, can I get a shout out? There you go. Christopher Domingo saying, hey, Allie. Perez, what's going on? What's up, Perez? Anthony's in here saying hello. Nicholas, team might be a Patriot. Maybe. Haven, bring back Tom Brady. No. Cool, genuine Phil saying, hey, Allie. What's going on, Phil? Happy to have you guys in here. I want to start off here with this question. Which player are you excited to watch in the NFL Combine? Abdul Carter not showcasing his skills in the Combine does suck, nor is Shedeur Sanders, but thankfully we've already got our quarterback. So I think I'm really intrigued to see the number 1 pick for the Patriots, whether that's going to be a Will Campbell, Mason Graham, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Kelvin Banks Jr., Tetairoa McMillan. There are a couple of players, but I also want to harp on Will Campbell's arm length. Sounds really crazy, I know. But Mike Vrabel showcasing that he wants offensive linemen, offensive tackle that are going to have all of the attributes to be successful protecting Drake May. And he really questioned the arm length of some of these draft picks coming up in this class that maybe it's just not what they're looking for. Kind of odd. I mean, it goes back to like Joe Burrow. Is his hand size big enough? And now look at Joe Burrow. He's one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the NFL. So everybody's always going to nitpick. I mean, this is what the NFL Combine is. It's just literally nitpicking these players tooth and nail. But I'm just really excited for all their attributes to come out, their 40 times, their bench presses, their characteristics, their traits. So I want to learn more about these guys as we get closer and closer to the 2025 NFL Draft. G is in here. Let's not trade Joe Milton. Oh, we're going to talk about that later. You might change your mind. Matthew, I hope we get Tetairoa McMillan, wide receiver, or Will Campbell. LSU for life, Allie. I get it. Anthony is in here. Out of left field named Waddle. Might not be happy in Miami. Not out of left field. Jalen Waddle, a very known wide receiver in the NFL. Maybe available for a trade of some sorts. Albert Cumberbatch, wait. What the hell happened to basketball? I'm still there. We're going live tonight. I'll be live on Celtics today. But, Patriots. I got to talk about the Patriots too. BF is in here. Haven, Football God, is in here as well. Let's go on ahead and ask you guys my next question. I've seen a lot of you guys talking about Tetairoa McMillan, Abdul Carter, talking about all of these guys, but let's just really simplify it here. Which position would you rather draft at pick number 4? Offense or defense? Type D for defense, type O for offense. Let me know what you'd rather bulk up at that number 4 spot. I don't know if Abdul Carter is going to be available at 4, which really, really sucks. I do think the Patriots could also trade down to maybe the 6th or 8th spot and try to get a Kelvin Banks or a Tetairoa McMillan. So it'll be very interesting to see what the Patriots want to do. I did tweet out a little bit earlier. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at ARBarefoot. I tweeted out a little bit earlier that they have interviewed several defensive players, naturally. Well, that's what we know right now because the only people we've heard from at the Combine have been NFL defensive prospects. We'll hear from the offensive guys a little bit later in the Combine. But so far, we've got a list out on Twitter of the defensive guys that have already had a meeting with Mike Vrabel saying he's really cool, but he's really intense. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Vrabel being the defensive-minded head coach, being the aggressor, would want to just really attack this head on and take a guy like Mason Graham if Abdul Carter is not available. I got Lil Shorty in here saying a wild sentence. Joshua, if Abdul Carter goes in trade down. Anthony, I like Tyler Warren out of the top 10. John Brewer saying offense. MH Production saying I really want Travis Hunter. Nicholas saying defense. Haven saying offense. Xbox saying offense as well. I've got Haven in here just saying special teams for some god-known reason. John Brewer saying Will Campbell. All right. So, or got BF from Ohio, Travis Hunter or bust. Oh, I don't know if it's Travis Hunter or bust, but he's definitely very good. I'll give you that. Get offensive line in free agency. Get defensive line in the draft. Very simple coming in from Nest Force. Old Man Logic, 3rd, 4th round if he's there. Landon Jackson is a solid DN. I'll have to look a little bit more into him as well. All right, well then, let's talk about free agency. Should the Patriots draft an offensive lineman or sign an offensive lineman in free agency? Which one would you rather see? I'm going to go sign in free agency. I think there are a lot of guys out there the Patriots could possibly work up a deal with, especially with over $130 million in cap space once all the new cap rules do set in, as they are getting a huge increase in cap space. So I'm going to go with sign an offensive lineman in free agency. But, I wouldn't be opposed to drafting. But I just think that the defense looks stronger than the offense as a whole in this draft. That's just my opinion. I haven't looked at every single player out there, but I know in the top 10, you could get some nasty dogs on defense with that number 4 pick that I would rather go for in a pretty unimpressive offensive line draft class. There are great players in there, don't get me wrong, but in terms of, one going every other pick, I don't see that being this draft class. There's a little bit of everything, really, when you look at all positions as a whole. CJ Hamlet, Trey Smith, the guard, sign him. Chad saying string Titans class? I don't know. Albert Cumberbatch, Travis Hunter, if he can become Patriots, probably not. Anthony saying there's no elite tackles this year. Xbox saying we need to fix our wide receiver room in free agency by getting Chris Godwin or Amari Cooper. Then we'll sign Will Campbell in the draft. Maybe we can trade back with the Raiders because Will Campbell is still highly valued. So, Haven actually making a good point here. I still really like Teteroa McMillan, but all the mock drafts have him falling to the back of the top 20. Like number 14 through 20. I'm not sure why he's falling that far. But, even these mock drafts have Shedeur Sanders falling to number 7. So it could be anybody's game right now. We're still obviously 2 months away. So everybody's got plenty of time to talk about mock drafts, including us. So Old Man Logic saying O-line in free agency, need proven answers short term. Grab some offensive line in the later rounds to develop. I'm not opposed to an offensive lineman with the number 4 pick. I'm not. I just would rather take somebody on defense at this point, sign somebody in free agency or snag like an Alaric Jackson or somebody like that. Give him some veteran experience, at least at one position. He didn't get to play with David Andrews this year. Hopefully he'll have David Andrews back next year at his center. You're getting Cole Strange back. It's not groundbreaking. Mike Onwenu back at that right position. If you can somehow get Trey Smith as your other guard, that would be great. Interior protection as well. But we're going to talk a little bit more about Will Campbell a little bit later. My final question for you guys before I hop into our first segment. Excited for the NFL draft? Go on ahead and like this video for me. We have 105 people watching and 26 likes. That's no good. That is no good. I do what? Can't be doing that out here. Go on ahead, hit that like button for me if you guys haven't already. I will get to our next question once we reach 35 likes. Oh, we're already there. Let's reach 50 likes. 105 people. We should easily have 50 likes in here. We try to keep 50% like to viewer ratio. So if I have 100 people watching, I need to have 50 likes. That's how that ratio works. Super easy. And we're currently 11 likes away. G already getting ahead of me, and I like it. Hashtag Patriots. Let's sign Gronk if he decides to come back and play for Pats Nation. If not Gronk, please stay retired. Thank you, LOL. We are going to have a mailbag on today's show. Got a question for our mailbag. Use hashtag Patriots exactly like G just did in the comment section down below. That is going to allow Lopez, our producer here, to snag your questions through our system and put them up on screen. They have to have hashtag Patriots. That's the key word. If you guys have a question for our mailbag, go on ahead and get them in now. I want to let you guys know, next week when we go live, we're not having a mailbag. So if you have questions you want to get answered right now, this is the last opportunity for the month of February and maybe for half of March. I don't know the next time I'm going to do a mailbag. So make sure you guys put your questions in. This is now an opportunity to get your opinion out there. Get your questions. Let's talk about it. Get your name out there in Patriots Nation. Xbox random person, off-topic news. Christian Gonzalez is finally a superstar in Madden. Do you play Madden? What does that mean? What is a superstar in Madden? Okay. Okay. It is? Well, can somebody explain what is that? I know it sounds good. Everybody wants to be a superstar. I don't play video games. I don't know what a superstar means in Madden. I don't play Madden. I apologize. Matthew, Patriots, my prediction is Titans, Abdul Carter, Browns, Cam Ward, Giants, Shador Sanders, Patriots, Will Campbell, Jaguars, Travis Hunter, Raiders, Tedero McMillan, Jets, Tyler Warren, Allie. I love it. Your own little mock draft. Haven, mock draft some BS. Get McMillan. And if not McMillan, get Carter or let Vrabes have some fun and get Mason Graham. And if none of that works, at that point, just get Shador Sanders and trade him for picks. Are you the GM? Is this Elliot Wolf in disguise? Oregon Lover. Is it crazy to have Ted at 1, Kayshawn at 2, and Pop as 3? Love that question. Definitely going to talk about our wide receiver core. Absolutely. Please keep getting in your questions. Shorty, will we draft a wide receiver at 4, or are we going to draft an O-line? What do you think we should do? I love that. If you guys have any questions about trading Joe Milton, signing Alaric Jackson, trading for Jonathan Allen, signing Chase Young, trading Devon Godchaux, who pairs best with Christian Gonzalez? Should we trade for Jair Alexander? Those are all fantastic questions I would love to discuss on our mailbag. Doesn't have to be draft-oriented. Guys, the trade market is heating up. Day in, day out, more and more players are getting permission to seek a trade. Jonathan Allen, Devon Godchaux, Deebo Samuel, Cooper Kupp. These are the times now to talk about this. Madden players are good, star, or superstar. So it is good. It is good. Superstar. Oh. That's okay. I wouldn't know either way, so you could have lied to me. Double S is back in the chat as well. All right, we got 50 people that have liked the video. I really do appreciate that. So I'll tell you what, here is a rundown of our shows coming up. I have 3 shows to get to. Number 1, trade rumors featuring Joe Milton. You guys are going to want to stick around for that. Number 2, Mel Kiper's latest mock draft. You're going to be very surprised who he took with pick number 4 for the Patriots. And then number 3 is a mailbag. Feel free, while we're going through these segments, to go on ahead, put your questions in using hashtag Patriots. We're about to start our first segment, so if you guys are ready to go, go on ahead, hit that like button. And like I said, while we are going through our first show, which is Trade Rumors featuring Joe Milton, please be sure to like the video, comment down below, super chat, subscribe, and most importantly, send in your questions in our mailbag using hashtag Patriots. That way we can go on ahead and get that rolling with that third segment. But I am really intrigued. I think this first segment's really, really good, has a lot of information in there, and could possibly make a lot of Patriots fans very happy. You say right now you don't want to trade Joe Milton, but I may change your mind. All right. Lopez. Are we ready? All right. Let's go on ahead and break it down. A top wide receiver could be coming to New England. Let me rephrase that. A top wide receiver needs to come to New England. But thankfully, Mike Vrabel is on it. He is expecting the Patriots to be extremely aggressive in free agency, and he understands that to get a top wide receiver, it may cost a trade. There are not a lot of top wide receivers that hit the free agent market. There are very rare top wide receivers that come into the draft and can be a superstar in their first season. So, what avenues will they explore to get a receiver? We're going to break that down in the first half of the show. The second half of the show, I've got a spicy trade possibility that could make a lot of Patriots fans very, very happy. Before I break into that, let me ask you guys this question. Name a receiver you want on the Patriots. Higgins, Godwin, A.J. Brown, D-Hop. There are so many out there. You guys can go on ahead and get started. Let me know in the comments section down below. Like we said, the Patriots need to have a top wide receiver for Drake Maye. I know I'm not breaking any new news to you guys, but knowing that Mike Vrabel is headhunting right now to try to find the best fit for Drake Maye and to have him succeed moving forward, he said that it all starts at the line of scrimmage, which we're going to address later on. How does this line of scrimmage going to look to protect Drake Maye to get to that top wide receiver? Yeah, that's in the cards, but the pass catcher. These pass catchers, unfortunately, are not going to get the Patriots to that next level. And I mean the postseason. And this is no shade to any of the receivers we have on the team. But look, if you guys aren't taking that receiver in the top 3 rounds of your fantasy draft, why should the Patriots try and win championships with that wide receiver core? Demario Douglas should not be your top wide receiver. I think he'd be a phenomenal wide receiver 2 or 3. Give Drake Maye a nice little quick slant to grab 10 yards. But for a go route, for a screw it, somebody's down there, it's not going to be Pop Douglas. So Mike Vrabel really broke down here in the NFL Combine while he was addressing some of the interview questions about, hey, who are you going to snag for your top wide receiver? And here's what Mike Vrabel had to say about possibly finding that guy. It's hard to find. No kidding, Vrabel. You usually have to draft them. Then sometimes, based on circumstances, they're available for trade. I think we'll explore every opportunity that we can to add great players that we feel like are the right fit and we feel like that can help us. There are only so many options in free agency, which I completely agree with, and in a trade and the draft. We'll explore all 3 of those. So there has been rumors out there that Vrabel is wide open to signing that checkbook and bringing in somebody that's going to help the New England Patriots succeed. And I think that's exactly what he needs to do. Even Elliott Wolf saying last year's roster was on me. We didn't utilize the free agent market as much as we should have. So latest report that came out here from Taylor Kyles is saying Mike Vrabel says the Patriots would want to entertain any draft trade offer that could benefit the team. Pick number 4? Trade pick number 4 for a top wide receiver? That would be, he'd want to entertain any draft trade offer that could benefit the team. Who could they possibly sign with that pick? Well, when you look at every possible path to getting that top wide receiver, number 1 in free agency, I completely agree with Mike Vrabel. When you have a top wide receiver, they very rarely hit the free agent market. Look at T. Higgins. There's rumors right now they're going to franchise tag him. You don't see Justin Jefferson hit the market. Amon-Ra St. Brown. You don't see those guys touch it. So it's very hard for the Patriots to try and acquire them. And when they do, it's a bidding war. And sometimes it doesn't work out for the better. And then when you look at the draft, it all depends on your timing, where you're drafting, and who is available. That's just luck of the draw at that point. Yeah, it's strategy, absolutely, but you don't know what that team in front of you is going to do unless you have an inside source. So it all matters about timing, and then you take the risk of realizing that your number 1 wide receiver, Ja'Lynn Polk, is a first-year rookie in the NFL. You don't know what he's going to look like in the NFL just yet. So trading is your most reasonable option to obtain that top wide receiver for an A.J. Brown, for a Tyreek Hill, for a Jalen Waddle, for somebody to come in and give Drake Maye some veteran hands. And when you look at the top 5 wide receivers the Patriots could possibly try and get via a trade, it instantly makes our wide receiver core 10 times better if you bring Brown in. Or DK Metcalf, despite his comments about playing in New England. Deebo Samuel, maybe a little bit past his prime. Tyreek Hill, bit of a drama queen, but aren't we all? Garrett Wilson, he's pretty close to New England, living in New York right now. If the Patriots are okay with entertaining the idea of trading a draft pick or trading something to bring a top talent to New England because they realize free agency and drafting may be too hard to come by, then I'm all for it. And I've got a trade that might make everybody happy. Which wide receiver should the Patriots trade for? Go on ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. We can go deep and deep and deep into how many wide receivers they could possibly trade for, but there are other areas of needs for New England on offense and on defense. So let's talk about the defense here just a little bit, because could Joe Milton be traded away for a defensive star? Well, let's break that down here in just a moment. First things first, I want to make sure you guys have the best deal around. I don't know about you guys, but I packed up my parka for the season. I am ready for the summertime, and I want you guys to be able to wear Patriots gear all summer long. Go on ahead, use this link, chatsports.com/New England Tee. This is going to get you guys this super sick t-shirt. You can also get it in 3 different colors right now. You can wear them to the bar, wear them to Fenway, wear them to the Bruins games. The Boston Celtics still playing. You can wear this anywhere. I always like to go with the white or the navy because your girl be sweating. I want to show it. You guys can get white, red, navy. Go on ahead, get your t-shirts while supplies last, a.k.a. your sizes. Make sure you guys go on ahead and get it. Chatsports.com/New England Tee. I'm going to put this link in the comment section down below. Go on ahead, click it. It'll take you right there from our proud partner with Fanatics. Go on ahead, get your t-shirt right now. Ian Rappaport did recently tweet out, and I just wanted to put this out there for you guys, that Davon Godchaux has permission to seek a trade. This doesn't come as a huge surprise to me. I know there was some lingering conversations about possibly trading away Godchaux, which is so ironic because you remember when he was holding out last training camp because he wanted to get paid? Less than 365 days later, he wants out? That sounds about right. So, we may be able to trade Davon Godchaux. And this kind of stinks for the Patriots because the defensive line and the linebacker room aggressively needs help. It needs depth. It needs stars. It just needs a lot. So to lose one of the best run defenders in the NFL, that's going to sting. It hasn't happened yet, but normally when they're seeking a trade, it sometimes usually ends up working. But the Patriots aren't stopping there. Turn it back to the offense. There are rumors the Patriots are toying with the idea of making quarterback Joe Milton available via a trade per Greg Bedard. I mean, we're just dishing out to bring it all in. Joe Milton, I don't personally want to trade away. I think he's a phenomenal backup that really mimics Drake May's type of playing style. So if you do throw Joe Milton in, the offense isn't going to be completely shaken up. But I also think it's selfish. I think Joe Milton showcased he could be a starter on numerous NFL teams, and if you keep him around to play backup for Drake May, he may never be able to thrive. So could Milton be in a trade for a defensive star? Because now you know we might lose Davon Godchaux. You know we already have to bulk up that linebacker room. So the Patriots are open to trading away Godchaux, trading away Milton. Would they be willing to trade player for player? The latest report came out today that they have granted permission to former Pro Bowl linebacker Harold Landry from the Tennessee Titans to seek a trade. Landry started all 17 games last season, finishing with 71 tackles, 9 sacks. Our team high was 5.5. All right, that already makes him the best defensive player the Patriots could have. 18 pressures and 4 pass deflections. 28 years old. We're not getting some out of his prime player if we do decide to go and trade for Harold Landry. Here's what you guys should know about the linebacker. He played under Vrabel from 2018 to 2023. He knows Vrabel. He's worked with him, and he respects the head coach. He's a 2021 Pro Bowler, very, very recent, and he has 2 remaining years on his contract. So knowing that we may possibly be getting rid of Davon Godchaux on your 3-4 front, knowing that Jawan Bentley was out with an injury last year, we need to bulk up that linebacker room unless you want to have Jelani Tavai as your star again, which I think there's better talent out there. I think Harold Landry makes sense. Before I dive in deeper of why this trade makes sense, let me go ahead and ask you guys this question. Should the Patriots trade for Harold Landry? Let me know in the comment section down below. Type Y for yes. Type in for no. I'm going to go Y for yes, and here's why. There are 5 reasons why this makes sense. You need to bulk up your linebacker room, all right? Anthony Jennings, Jelani Tavai, Jawan Bentley. I just don't think this is enough to stop runs and to help the passing game. I think that when you have a 3-4 front with Keon White not as explosive that we wanted to see, you might be losing Devon Gottschall. You need to bulk it up as much as you can. 50.5 career sacks. Enough said. He's under 30 years old, 28. He is healthy. For the love of God, we just need somebody that can play 17 games and play them productively. Not to mention, he went to Boston College. He's familiar with the Northeast. And that's enough for me. Let's throw it back a couple years ago, right? When Mike Vrabel wasn't the head coach anymore for the Tennessee Titans, here is what Harold had to say about the departure of his head coach. I feel like with Vrabel, my entire career, situationally, I've been as prepared as I can possibly be for every game. I feel like if you just took out that season-ending win over Jacksonville, guys are playing hard for him. Guys are wanting to win for him. And I really can't imagine not being the Titans head coach. I just can't. I hear nothing but respect for a guy like Mike Vrabel from Harold Landry. And he gave it right back. He said great things about him when he became the head coach for the Tennessee Titans. This is a relationship that can go very far, especially with a new defensive coordinator in Terrell Williams, who also worked for the Tennessee Titans during his tenure there. You're getting a bona fide headhunter, and that's something the Patriots are really lacking. You want an aggressive star? You can get one with Harold Landry. Over the last 4 years, here is what his stats have looked like. 15 tackles for loss, 9 sacks, 10.5 sacks. In 2022, he unfortunately did miss the entire season with a torn ACL, but since then, he has played every single game. He produces year in and year out, which is why I think this trade would be possible to possibly give the Tennessee Titans. What do the Titans need right now? They need a quarterback. And thankfully, we have a quarterback that's pretty dang good, but he's sitting on our bench. Here's a possible trade idea for Harold Landry. You trade your 2025 third-round pick via Atlanta. Thank you, Matthew Judon. You still have a third pick. You have 2 third-round picks. You trade one of them, the one that Atlanta gave you to get Matthew Judon. So you keep all your draft picks. You give away Joe Milton. He's not even a starter for New England just to get Harold Landry. That's a win-win, and you come out clean. I think that would be a hell of a trade. It would suck to lose Milton, but you'd gain a defensive star. Let me ask you this. Should the Patriots trade Joe Milton? Or would you rather just work around with a couple of draft picks rather than going player for player? Type Y for yes, type N for no in the comment section if you guys haven't already. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm just going to leave you with this one. I'm taking this trade. And I think this is something that needs to happen. If the Patriots want to be competitive again, they need to make this trade. That's all I'm going to say. Go on ahead, hit that sub button for me if you guys haven't already. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. And as always, if you guys want the latest news and rumors out of New England, you can find it right here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. So hit that sub button for me. Alrighty, 150 people watching, 65 likes. All right. Not a big Landry guy, but I love this trade. No, we want Joe Milton back. Double S, reminding you guys, get your questions in for the mailbag. We could draft an awesome defensive back with that 4th pick. I would go after Jeffrey Simmons instead of Harold Landry, but I wouldn't be mad about that. Well, you have to look. If the Titans are agreeing to a trade with Harold Landry, you go with the easier. I think Harold Landry's a good defensive player. Yeah, there's always going to be better guys out there, but if Landry's available right now, you might as well chomp down on it. Troy, sacks don't always mean you're good. So what does it mean then? So, because we sucked as a defensive whole. Want to know why? Because we ranked last in sacks. Haven, we're not getting any of our old players back. Stop asking. Albert Cumberbatch, brilliant girl. Thank you. Find a home for Milton in exchange for a defensive player. Cheers. Could they trade Milton to Tennessee and get Simmons? I don't know if Simmons is available. That's the thing, is that when these guys are seeking trades, you want to go after guys that are available. Because let me tell you this. If you want to go after a guy like Jeffrey Simmons, who is not available, as far as I'm concerned, then that means the Titans have the upper hand on you. That means the Titans are going to be begging for more than probably what he's worth. That's how it goes. But if you go after a guy that is a good player and he's available for a trade, you can get away with giving away your backup quarterback and a draft pick that doesn't cost you anything. I'd rather have that than give away, round 3, 4, and 5 of our draft picks to go get Jeffrey Simmons. I just think that you got to be smarter here. Work smarter, not harder. Another hashtag Patriots coming in. From the All Red family. Patriots, who do you think will be the Pats' first free agency signing? Love that. Thank you so much, Justin. All right, let's go ahead and hop into our second segment here. Feel free to keep liking, commenting, subscribing, and getting your questions in for that mailbag. Use hashtag Patriots. That way we can use our system to filter out your questions. We're going to do our mailbag right after the segment, so make sure you guys do have your questions in ready to go. All right, we're going to talk about the mock draft here in segment 2. Feel free to comment, super chat, subscribe, and get your questions in. Mel Kiper's latest mock draft is in, and I have a big question. Do we think Abdul Carter is going to be available with pick number 4, which is where the Patriots will pick in the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft? I'm starting to think maybe he won't be, so where does New England go from there? We're going to break this down here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports, but I have a question for you guys before we hop into any of the mumbo-jumbo. Do you want Abdul Carter to be a Patriot? Go on ahead and hit that like button for me. If yes, I don't see why you wouldn't want Abdul Carter to be a New England Patriot. So go on ahead, hit that like button for me. Obviously, we do still have plenty of time before the 2025 NFL Draft, but Mel Kiper, who's the king of all kings when it comes to mock drafts with ESPN, he currently thinks Carter's pick number 1 to the Tennessee Titans, then the Browns, then the Giants, then the Patriots. And the way I've been looking at this draft is, the Titans, Browns, and Giants, they all need quarterbacks. So how does Abdul Carter fit in with number 1? Well, he arguably might be one of the best players in the NFL Draft, which would be a real shame for the Patriots if he was not there at number 4. So if he is gone, who will the Patriots take with pick number 4? Mel Kiper has the latest on who he thinks it's going to be, and I'm going to be honest, I was a bit surprised by Kiper's reasoning and why he decided to put Will Campbell at pick number 4 for the Patriots. Obviously, Abdul Carter goes 1. Cam Ward sticks with the Browns. He still thinks that they're going to end up taking a quarterback, but he thinks the Giants will not go for Shedeur Sanders, but pick up Travis Hunter instead, and maybe try to go for like a Matthew Stafford or a Sam Darnold in free agency. And then Will Campbell and number 5 with the Jacksonville Jaguars to be Mason Graham, the aggressive defensive player from Michigan. And the number one thing I saw when I saw this was Campbell over Graham? Okay, well, let's see what he's thinking. Mel Kiper breaks it down here and he says, I like Campbell. Checking a box for New England. The Patriots were 31st in pass block win rate in 2024 at 50.9% and allowed the league's 5th most sacks with 52. They can't have that with second-year quarterback Drake May trying to take the next step in his development. And I understand that you want to get a top wide receiver too, but it cannot happen unless you get that line taken care of. Campbell has the sound technique to effectively seal off the blind side, but he could also boost this offensive line on the inside if he ultimately fits better at guard. So before I break down any more about Will Campbell, I was very intrigued that with the Patriots, who also have a pretty rough defense right now and have been very intrigued with Mason Graham. We've already seen that he has had an interview with Mike Vrabel. He said he's very cool, very intense. Why Will Campbell over Mason Graham. That is where I start to get a little bit more intrigued by this mock draft. Not because Will Campbell is bad by any means, but I would personally rather take Graham over Campbell. I think that might be a little bit too high for Campbell, in my opinion. And like I said, Graham already having conversations with Mike Vrabel and the Patriots at the NFL Combine. The defensive tackle had a really good conversation. So maybe the Patriots like him a little bit better. Once again, this is just a mock draft, nothing set in stone. But what does Mel Kiper know that we don't? It leads me to this question. If you guys had to pick number 4 between these two players, only these two players, who would you rather have? Type WC for Will Campbell. Type MG for Mason Graham. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. So now we'll get into the nitty-gritty of whether or not Will Campbell fits the mold to be a New England Patriot. Like Mel Kiper said, he liked that he checked that box. And he brings a lot that can help Drake Maye. We're going to break that down here in just a moment. First things first, let me make sure you guys know about our number 1 sponsor here, and that is Prize Picks. If you guys want to play the number 1 daily fantasy sports app in America, download Prize Picks. It's the easiest part of my day. All you guys have to do is just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. That's right, up to 1,000 times your money. You guys can pick football, basketball, baseball, soccer, hockey, Call of Duty, golf. There is something for everybody. And it's available in over 30 different states, including Cali, Georgia, Florida, and Texas. You can pick your favorite teams and players, collegiate or professional. So if you guys want to go ahead and make your picks, it's super, super easy to do so. Like I said, just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and that is how you guys can win up to 1,000 times your cash. And every single week, they do have promotions, like Taco Tuesday, a 25% discount on a player's projected stats. That way you guys can help win your lineups. Go ahead and get started today by downloading the Prize Picks app using promo code CLNS. That'll give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. This will give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. The 6'6" offensive tackle out of LSU. How does he fit the mold to be a New England Patriot? Well, number 1, you don't have to try that hard because our offensive line sucks. So pretty much anybody is going to be an improvement. When you're looking at a guy like Will Campbell, I've seen many interviews of this kid. I've seen a lot of highlights, and you're just looking at an all-around solid player. He's great in the locker room. He's great on the field, great off the field. He is a leader, and he's a damn good offensive tackle. Versatile, too. And when you look at what he did over the course of his time playing for LSU, currently as the offensive tackle, he had a 72.2 overall PFF grade in his NFL draft profile. He played 866 offensive snaps and allowed 2 sacks. That is music to Drake Maye's ears. I'm sure of it. 5 hits allowed and 11 hurries allowed. I mean, you're running through a brick wall. So let's break this down a little bit more about his draft profile. Let's talk about his pros. He's got quick feet and hands. For being 6'6", 300 pounds, that's going to be a little bit of a rare commodity. And I love that he can move laterally, and he can also move vertically to try and protect his quarterback. He adjusts on climbs and pulls. So once he does ultimately get beat, and if that defensive tackle wants to try and explode on the inside or outside, swim over him, he does well at adjusting to those type of techniques. He's aggressive until the whistle. You know he is going to hold his man until Drake Maye is no longer in sight. He will scramble as well, which is beautiful, knowing that Drake Maye is as mobile as you possibly can be for a rookie. He may not stick to the pocket as much as your traditional quarterback like a Kirk Cousins or so. So knowing that you may have to move with Maye, well, that's not bad for a tackle either. And he can sustain against the bull rush. Look, this isn't college. It's only going to get a lot more aggressive. Let's talk about the cons, because every single player has them. There are concerning length with Will Campbell. I know Mike Vrabel talked about it a little bit. He wants those arms to be extra long, to whether it's out wide or out in front of you. We haven't seen that just yet because of his statistics haven't come out from the NFL Draft Combine. about what his attributes are and things like that. He does get out too far over his skis, so he tends to get off balance, especially if he's the first one to jump and he's on the tippy toes. That defensive lineman's going to take advantage of that. But I do think that can be fixed once he gets into the professional setting. His punch timing is sometimes not always accurate. He allows inside pressure, which I find interesting that Mel Kiper thinks that if he's at the guard, not at a tackle, that could possibly prevent the inside pressure, which, I'm not disagreeing with, but it is interesting. And there has been notes that he is possibly not the most athletic offensive tackle out there. Maybe Kelvin Banks Jr. is a bit more athletic than the 6'6", 300-pounder from LSU. Now, knowing a little bit about the pros and the cons, how do you feel? Should the Patriots take Will Campbell at number 4? Type D for draft, type P for pass. I think it's still a very interesting selection over Mason Graham from Mel Kiper, but, it's definitely not unheard of. We need offensive line. That's an absolute certainty. So you have to start looking at whether or not you can get that from Campbell. I personally think you can get a better deal in free agency and still bulk up your defense by taking somebody like Graham, and especially when you've got so many good guards and tackles hitting the market recently. But once again, free agency isn't always guaranteed. Draft can be guaranteed. Ronnie Stanley, there's been a lot of rumors that the Ravens are very, very confident they can get an extension done. Cam Robinson did great with Jacksonville, sucked with Minnesota. Tyron Smith, Alaric Jackson from the Chargers, and you got Dan Moore as well. So, or from the Rams, excuse me. So there are still a lot of good free agents that you could find out there, but you worry about franchise tagging and extensions, and you're playing a waiting game. You're waiting for their team to make the final say, whereas with a draft, the Patriots can take that call. Overall, I would still rather take Mason Graham over Will Campbell, and if they do decide to take somebody like Will Campbell or Kelvin Banks, I think they should consider trading down. I think those two offensive linemen will be available around pick number 9 or 10. And if you were to trade down and maybe swap with the Raiders or any other team that's underneath you, you can maybe get a little bit more out of it. However, if you're at number 4, Abdul Carter's gone, Travis Hunter's gone, and you need a skills player, I don't know if I'd rather take Will Campbell. So that is my take on it. So if you guys made it to the end of this long mock draft, go on ahead and spam me in the comment section down below. Prove that you guys are a real one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you haven't already, go on ahead, hit that sub button as well. If you want anything related to the New England Patriots news or rumors, we'll have it right here. So go on ahead and sub. I am schwitzing. Holy mother. Oh my God, are you hot? Is it just because I got fired up over mock drafts? Is that it? Can't tell if that's blush or I'm just extremely hot. All right, so the Patriots take Will Campbell at number 4. 142 people in here. We are about 15 likes away from 100. Go on ahead and hit that like button for me if you guys haven't already. You got Justin Hitman's going to say P for pass. Ruan saying pass. Craig's card. Killis saying P. Coop saying P as well. So I feel like we're all kind of on the same page here in terms of Mel Kiper's latest mock draft. All right, we have less than 15 likes away from reaching 100. Lopez, where are we at with questions? Okay. Would you say, just from a guess, we need more or less? All right. If you guys have any last questions, this is the final call to get in on our mailbag. Use hashtag Patriots or Super Chat to get on the show. Kalilama coming in here as well with a question. So be sure to get those in. Yeah, it is a really great running back class. I just don't want to use an early pick on it, you know? I feel like Polk and Baker could be fixed up by Vrabel. Do you? I like that, Haven. Thoughts on the Patriots report card from the NFLPA? I'm going to be honest, I haven't really read up on it thoroughly. I know that Robert Kraft got a pretty low grade. I know the Patriots need improvements to their weight room and stuff, but I really haven't taken a deep dive into it just yet, to be honest. CJ Hamlet saying we need to trade Stevenson for sure. We're keeping Lamondre Stevenson. It's Ramondre. We are 11 likes away from reaching 100. We will get into that mailbag whenever Lopez says we are ready to go. So that means you guys have to go ahead and get your questions in right now. Use hashtag Patriots to be on our mailbag. Not doing one next week, so be sure you guys get it in this week. All right, we're 10 likes away as well. So be sure to hit that like button. Will you put my little name tag in the center there? That is okay. Nick Hill, like that question as well, man. Like that question as well. All right, I'm ready to go. Lopez, you ready to go? Let's do it. Last segment, best segment. Hit that like button. We hear from you guys on Patriots Today by Chat Sports, answering your questions surrounding trade rumors, draft rumors, NFL combine news, NFL free agency rumors, and let's just be honest, everything surrounding the New England Patriots. Thank you to everybody that sent in a question for this week's mailbag, but your job's not done yet. We are in a subscriber battle for the month of February with the Jets Report. And last I checked, we're running out of time. Go on ahead, hit that sub button for me. Help us beat the Jets Report here at Chat Sports. The bosses just started a division rival page. And I'm going to be honest, they can't do this to us. They cannot do this to us. They've only been a channel for like 2 months now. I cannot have them win. Go on ahead, hit that sub button if you want to beat the Jets Report here on this month's subscriber battle. Help us. 1,200 subscribers so far. You guys know what to do. On top of the first question here, should we trade Mondre and draft Dylan Sampson in the third and have him back up Gibson or start him? From Oregon Lover. Overall, I think this is a really, really good running back draft class. Whether that should be Dylan Sampson in the third round or another player, I do think there is an opportunity for a running back to go to the Patriots at some point in these rounds. You also have to think, if the Patriots do not trade any draft picks, and it currently stands, they will have 2 picks in the third round. So even if they want to go out and get a wide receiver like Savion Williams and then possibly draft somebody like Dylan Sampson in the third, they still could. But I want to hone in on this number one question. Trade Ramondre Stevenson. I do think that if you can get something good for him, I do think Ramondre Stevenson may have played his last snap in New England. Do I want that? Absolutely not. I think there's still something in there that he hasn't unlocked yet, and maybe it'll be different with a new offensive scheme under Josh McDaniels, but I don't know if we cannot have an established run game this year. Last year, yeah, it was fine because the Patriots struggled in a lot of different areas. But if you really get a top wide receiver, you get a good offensive line, and you have Drake May, but you still don't have a run game, it's going to be tough to win some ball games. So I do think we should keep Gibson, though. I think that would be a good pickup to keep around. Michael Robinson, next question. Do you think Travis with Gonzalez will be a number 1 cornerback duo? Yes. Hell yes. I think he'll possibly end up being a cornerback. I know he definitely says he wants to play both ways, but even Julian Edelman says it takes a toll, man. I think Travis Hunter being a cornerback would do wonders in the NFL. However, I do also think that Travis Hunter may not be available for the Patriots with pick number 4. And if he's not, I think our best option is pairing Gonzo with a veteran in DJ Reed. I think Jonathan Jones is a good veteran in terms of locker room presence, but I don't know if he's that guy that can keep up with Gonzo's skills. I think DJ Reed can. He's phenomenal at pass breakups, even though interceptions aren't his number 1 ability. I think that he has great coverage. He can run more man-to-man schemes, and I think that anybody of that caliber, a Travis Hunter, a DJ Reed, would be a good pair with Gonzalez because you want to try to get a guy that can mimic that talent, not bring him down. G. Bopham. Boy, film. Excuse me. Patriots, honestly, I think it would be bad to trade Joe. I feel like he's going to be a Hurts/Cam type of guy, number one. Hell of a statement. But I can't say I disagree with you. I think Joe Milton showcased more than Patriots fans realized in that Week 18 win. And maybe it's because we didn't want to win that ball game. We wanted Joe Milton to fail, so you're probably trying to talk yourself out of him. He showcased arm strength, little bit inaccurate, but, his first NFL game fully, 4 quarters as a rookie. His speed is uncanny. He has field IQ like none other. He knows when to scramble. He knows when to pass. He knows when to get it away. So I do think Joe Milton is going to be a really good talent. And like I've said, I don't want to trade Joe Milton either, because when you have such a very rare duo in QB1 and QB2 that mimic the same kind of playing abilities, strong arms, not afraid to scramble, not afraid to slide to get the first down, trick plays, that can be really beneficial for a Patriots offense. But if Joe Milton can get us other assets, you might have to say goodbye. But I do agree, we could live to regret it. And you can record this and use it against me later if he ends up being a bust. Christian Ganpath coming in. With the Patriots moving on from Godchild, does that add more heat to the Mason Graham as a possible pick? I would hope so. I definitely would. I think that also with the Devon Godchild thing, you have to realize they probably don't want to go through what they did last year, which was Godchild holding out because he wanted to get paid. If Godchild wants a trade, you might just have to give it to him to try and avoid some of that drama that you had last year. We're trying to start fresh, and we're trying to win some ball games. I'm not opposed to trading Godchild. I think that it would be a good asset to get some good players back or draft picks, but it does suck because he's very good at what he does at that defensive tackle position. So if you end up getting rid of him, I could see Mason Graham possibly being a pick for us with number 4. Or maybe trading for a Jonathan Allen or trying to replace him if they do decide to make a deal with a team in the NFL. So I have a question here for you guys. Speaking of Mason Graham, which position should the Patriots draft first? Type D for defense, type O for offense. Which side of the football should New England really try to work on with pick number 4 in the 2025 NFL Draft? We have plenty of more questions coming up here, but first, let me make sure you guys look as fresh as possible. There's a great deal going on right now, 50% off t-shirts for New England Patriots football. They're right now $19.99. They were originally $40. If you use this link, chatsports.com/New England T. It's going to get you guys this super nice t-shirt. You can wear it wherever, bars, games, sporting events, concerts, doesn't matter. Maybe just walking your dog in downtown Boston. You can get it in blue. You can get it in red. You can get it in white. And I think it'll look great in Gillette Stadium later this fall. Go on ahead, get yourself this New England Patriots t-shirt. Use our link with our friends over at Fanatics, chatsports.com/New England T. 50% off, $19.99 while sizes last. I'm going to put this link to the shirt in the comment section down below underneath the video. Make sure you click it. Takes you right there. All right, another question from Kalilama. Allie, what players are you looking forward to seeing at Combine this weekend? Ooh, love this. Really looking forward to seeing some sleepers. I want to see a little bit more of the 3rd, 4th round guys that you're like, damn, he ran a what at the 40-yard dash? I think Williams out of TCU could be a very sleeper wide receiver pick around round 3, or maybe Xavier Restrepo. But also there are going to be those guys of the Will Campbells and the Mason Grahams. You want to see how they are, what their characteristics and attributes will look like, and what they can provide the New England Patriots. But the NFL Combine, I try to look at who could be a next possible Patriot, but also just see who's going to be a next great player in the NFL. Another one coming in from Oregon lover Allie. What would be the perfect spot to trade down to if top 3 is Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, and Abdul Carter? Well, you could always take Mason Graham with number 4, but if not, I think that trading with the Raiders might be a really good position, just because you know they're going to need somebody like Shedeur Sanders if they end up not getting somebody like Matthew Stafford. So you go back down a couple of spots, maybe to number 6. You could still possibly take a Will Campbell, Kelvin Banks Jr., Tetaroa McMillan. You can snag another asset from the Raiders if you decide to trade that 4th round pick. And I think 5 through 10 isn't bad to pick from either. the Patriots, we kind of screwed ourselves with not having that number 1 pick in the draft. So at this point, when you're not extremely draft dependent, like you don't necessarily need a quarterback, I think that I think the lowest I would go is probably 8, but I think 6 with the Raiders would be a pretty good switch up. MA177 Patriots, if Carter is gone by 4, but Hunter is still there, would you take Tet or Hunter? Ooh. I'm probably going to go with Hunter if he decides to play one way, and that's cornerback. I think that Travis Hunter in the secondary can be extremely lethal, and I think that we have the capabilities to make one of the best secondaries in the NFL, pairing him with Christian Gonzalez. I don't think many NFL teams can say that. However, if Travis Hunter decides to be a wide receiver and only a wide receiver, then I would consider taking Tetairoa McMillan. I've been a big fan of Tetairoa McMillan, 6'5". I think his catch radius is phenomenal. He does really good at separation as well, and he's not afraid to allow that inaccurate pass to be an incomplete. He'll strive to make sure that ball is caught, which I think could go a long way for a Patriots wide receiver core that doesn't give me enough every single Sunday. So I'm going to go Tetairoa if Hunter's a wide receiver, but I'm going to go Hunter if he decides to be a cornerback. Haven, what are your thoughts on Polk and Baker? I want to see them ball out, and I think Vrabel could fix them up, man. I don't know. I do agree. I have been guilty of writing off Javon Baker and Jalen Polk in the first year, and I hope they prove me wrong. I saw too many inconsistent catches and drops, and I heard way too much about them talking how great they are and never being able to showcase it. So I hope that with Mike Vrabel, he gives them the confidence to be good wide receivers. I don't know if they had that. I don't understand why Javon Baker was a healthy scratch so many games this last year, knowing that we had a pretty open wide receiver core that could have just been best man up. So I do hope that Javon Baker finds his footing. He's been working out. So is Jalen Polk. And hopefully with Josh McDaniels, they can find some light and see what works for them moving forward. But that'll be it here for our mailbag on today's show. Thank you guys so much for sending in questions. And if you guys ever want to talk ball, you are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter. But go on ahead, hit that sub button for me on Patriots Today by Chat Sports if you guys have not already. Alrighty. 140 people watching, 105 likes. I really do appreciate that. I know a lot of you guys asked about Gronk. Gronk's not coming back. You already said that he's not, and I thought it was an extremely stupid rumor to even come out in the first place. I feel like the only reason why it was as believable is because it was Gronk, who did come out of retirement in 2021, and who the hell knows whatever's going on in Gronk's head most of the time. So, no, Gronk's not coming back, and I don't think I'd want him even if he did. He's 36 years old. If you guys are ready for the 2025 season, go on ahead and like this video for me if you guys haven't already. I got 137 people watching in here, and like I said, we do go live every single Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you guys haven't already, be sure to hit that sub button. That way you guys can get notified. Well, you got to turn on your notifications. Subscribe. Turn on your notifications. That way you guys do get notified when we go live. I promise it does not blow up your phone. It just lets you know when we post a video. We post one a day, and we go live once a week. That's it. So if you guys want to be notified, be sure to hit that notification button. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Patriots Live. We go live every single Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And thank you guys for sitting through our 3 segments and interacting with me. Really is my favorite part of the day. So thank you guys so much. If you guys haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button for me. Hit that sub button as well. Help us reach 23,000 subscribers here on this channel. And be sure to share this video and this platform with your friends. Thank you guys so much. And as always, hit that sub button for me.